welcome back to my class. That as you know that I am Halim Nisa, teacher and junior lecturer of Ahmedabad High School and Junior College. So in today's class we will continue our topic that is from second year economic. Topic name is population and human resource development. So after this education in India, now we will discuss about the role of health in economic development and health in India. So here role of health in economic development and health in India. First we will go with the role of health in economic development. Here the improvement in health of people increase their productive capacity and improve their quality in human capital. Exactly. So here the expenditure on health is very important and essential. Expenditure on health takes in form of investments in medical knowledge and in disease prevention and in treatment and in rehabilitation and in improving the level of nutrition. So all these improvements in the health of the workers automatically raises the national output. Exactly. In World Development Report through 1993, it is stated that improved health contributes to the economic growth in 4 ways. That it reduces the production losses and caused by the workers' illness. So it permits the use of natural resources which were inaccessible because of disease. Exactly. And it is necessary and it is increase the enrollment of the children in school and make them better able to learn, and it frees for the alternative uses of resources that would otherwise have to be spent on a treating in life. So here balance and the nutritious diet and the medical care are necessary for the good health. Okay, after this World Development Report, now we will discuss about the health policies in India. Here, on the basis of the recommendations by the Health Survey and the Development Committees, Moore Committee of 1946 and the Health Survey and Planning Committee, that the government of India prepared a program for raising the health standards, and then the objectives of this program are provisions for the control of epidemics and providing the health services and training of employees in the health department and the development of primary health centers in rural areas. So here under the 15th 5-year plan, health development programs were integrated with a family welfare and the nutrition programs for children, pregnant women and nursing mothers. In 6th 5-year plan, particularly a community-based programs of healthcare and medical services in rural areas was launched. During the 9th and 10th 5-year plan, efforts were intensified to improve the health status of population by optimizing and coverage the quality of care. Here in 11th 5-year plan, here proposed a comprehensive approach that covers individual health care, public health and sanitation and clean drinking water, and then access to the food and knowledge of hygiene and feeding practices. Okay. So all these plans set target to be achieved by the end of plan period 2011 to 2012, and targets are these. See, after the health policies in India, now we will see about the disparity in rural and urban healthcare. So here the situation is better in urban areas. In some states, rural healthcare is very poor. So here the disparity in urban and rural area is existing in all the health indicators. Here the large disparity places more burden on the poor. Exactly. So the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Here the sharp differences in the health indicators and the existing even between the advanced and the backward states. So after this, now we will see about the health program in India. So now we will discuss about the health programs in India. The 11th 5-year plan aimed for achieve the growth by introducing the National Rural Health Mission and National Urban Health Mission. In this, here the National Rural Health Mission, here the Janani Suraksha Yojana is there, and in National Urban Health Mission, here the clean drinking water and sanitation here. So first we will discuss about the National Rural Health Mission. In this intends to increase the access and the utilization of quality health by strengthening the health infrastructure. Here it was planned to have the 5 lakh accredited social health activists by 2008, and second is the all sub-centers functions with 2 auxiliary nurse midwives by 2010, and all primary healthcare centers to be provided with the 3 staff nurses for the 24 hours on all the day by 2010. Then 6,500 in community health centers to be established and strengthened with the 7 specialists and 9 staff nurses by 2012. Then again 1,800 taluka hospitals and 600 district hospitals to be strengthened by 2012. After this, the mobile medical units for each district by 2009. See, in Janani Suraksha Yojana, this scheme has the 12 objectives of reducing the maternal and the infant mortality rate by promoting the institutional deliveries. Get it? So, in National Urban Health Mission, that it is intended to meet the health needs of the urban poor, and particularly the slum dwellers and the other marginalized dwellers who may be in slum and on the sites. Here this program covers all the cities with a population of lakh and above. In clean drinking water and sanitation, here the unsafe drinking water increase the risk of diseases exactly and malnutrition also. Here with the unsafe drinking water, waterborne diseases which affect the health also will be occur. So here that's why the clean drinking water is a vital necessity, and it is very essential and important for the people and for the development also. Here the lack of the sanitation is directly responsible for the several waterborne diseases exactly. So here India's achievements in health indicators were encouraging, but much more has to be achieved. After this, now we will see the Human Development Index. In Human Development Index, here the search of an alternative to GNP as a measure of economic development has led to the development of Human Development Index, that is HDI. Absolutely. Here the United Nations Development Programs, that is UNDP, introduced the HDI and its first Human Development Report in 1990. Under the guardianship of Mehboob-ul Haq, an economist from Pakistan. Here efforts have been made to refine the measure of human development and gender related development index, that is GDI. Here the gender empowerment measure is also that, which is GEM. Here gender inequality index is also there, which is called as GII. Then the human poverty index, that is HPI, and the multi-dimensional poverty index, that is MPI, have been developed in Human Development Report of UNDP. Get it? Here, according to Mehboob-ul Haq, the differences between the economic growth and the human development schools is that the first exclusive focuses on the expansion of only one choice, that is income, while the second embeds that enlargement of all human choices, whether it is economic or social or cultural or political. This is according to the Mehboob-ul Haq. Now after this Human Development Index, now we will see the construction of Human Development Index, that is HDI. Here the construction of Human Development Index, that is HDI. HDI measures the average achievement in 3 basic dimensions of human development, and these are a long and healthy life as measured by his expectancy at birth. Then second is that knowledge as measured by the adult literacy rate and the combined primary, secondary and the tertiary enrollment ratios. And then third one is that a decent standard of living as measured by GDP per capita. So here, before calculating the HDI, an index for each of the three dimensions is created. For this, minimum and maximum values are chosen for each indicator as given in this chart. So see this. Here the performance in each dimensions is expressed as a value between 0 and 1 by applying this formula. See this formula. So here, according to HDR 2011, countries are grouped under the 4 categories, and that are: first is that the countries in HDI range is from the 0.8 and above are in the very high human development group. Okay. Then second one is that the countries in HDI ranges from 0.7 to 0.8 are in high human development group. And third one is that the countries in the HDI range from 0.5 to 0.7 are in range of medium human development group. And fourth one is that the countries in the HDI range is less than 0.5 are in the low human development group. Get it here. So after this, now we will see the gender inequality index, that is GII. Here in gender inequality index, that is GII, Human Development Report in 1995 introduced the two global gender, and these are: the first one is the gender related development index, that is GDI, and the gender empowerment measure, that is GEM. So here the GDI attempt to capture the achievements through the same set of basic capabilities as including the HDI, like life expectancy and educational attainment and income. Here the HDI will be adjusted for the gender inequality. After this, the gender empowerment measure, that is GEM, here indicates whether the women are able to participate actively in economic and as well as in political life. It focuses on the political participation, that the women's share in parliament seats, and the economic participation, that share in higher level and the professional positions, and power over income resources, that is income gaps. Get it? Now we will see the Human Poverty Index, that is HPI. In Human Poverty Index, the Human Development Report through the 1997 introduced the concept of Human Poverty Index. So here this index concentrates on the deprivation of these essential elements of the human life already reflected in HDI, that is the longevity and the knowledge and the decent living standards. Here the HDR in 2009 used these variables for calculating the HPI, and that are the percentage of the people expected to die before age 40. Then second one is that the percentage of adult illiterates. Then third one is the percentage of the people with the access of health services and to safe the drinking water. And fourth one is that the percentage of the malnourished children under 5. And here the Human Poverty Index for developing countries reveals the existence of the high value of HPI in Nigeria, Bangladesh, Pakistan and in India also. So after now this Human Poverty Index, that is HPI, now we will see the Gross National Happiness Index. In Gross National Happiness Index, countries like Bhutan are measuring in their development with the Gross National Happiness Index. So here there is a need to bring a change in the existing method of measuring the development. Get it? So after this now we will see the view of Amartya Sen on human development. So here at last now we will see the views of Amartya Sen on human development. Okay. Amartya Sen's book, which named as a Development as Freedom, was published in 1999, and he is the only Indian who won the Nobel Prize for Economics. So he argues that the development, it is a process of expanding the real freedom that people enjoy. Exactly. So when Sen says that the freedom is the both the primary and the principal means of development, for this he gives two reasons. First one is that the only acceptable evaluation of human progress in enhancement of freedom, and then second one is the achievement of development is depend on the free agency of people. Here the growth of GNP or of individual incomes can be very important as a mean to expanding the freedom enjoyed by the people. Exactly. So here the freedom depends on other determinants also, such as social and economic arrangements that facilities of education and health care, and in political and civil rights, that is the liberty to participate in public decisions and security. Okay, in industrialization or in technical progress or social modernization can substantially contribute to expanding a human freedom. But here freedom depends on the other influences also. So here freedom creates growth, and here principal determinant of individual's initiative and the social effectiveness, and it enhances the ability of individual to help themselves only. So rising the human capability improve the choices, exactly, and well-being and freedom of people, and also therein influencing the social changes and also the economic production. Exactly. So here the economic security derives from freedom only. The institutional arrangements are also influenced by the freedom through the liberty to participate in a social choice and in a making public decisions. So here development requires the removal of sources of unfreedoms, that is poverty, trinity, poor economics and opportunities, and the systematic social deprivations and the neglect of the public facilities or intolerance or the overactivity of repressive states. So all these are the view of Amartya Sen on human development. So by this we have completed our second chapter, that is population and human resource development. So that we have studied of human resources is important in the view of economic welfare, and so it is necessary to know the quantitative and the qualitative aspects of the population. Exactly. Here the India is facing the problem of population explosion, and if it is not checked and reasonable development is not possible. All these things we have discussed, and some important changes in the occupational structure and in the desired directions are visible in India. Here the development of human resources and the process of economic development both are proceeding together and enforcing with one another. So here the development is the process of expanding the real freedom that the people enjoys. We know from this lesson. So thank you.